Hey, I'm Dr. Melissa. This week we have been talking about the feminine principle of surrender. You may remember a few weeks ago we talked about activating your feminine power source, just like we so often use our masculine power source, that when you have activated both, you're actually pedaling a bike with both legs instead of working so hard to pedal it with only one. And surrender is a feminine principle. It is part of your feminine power source that is so often overlooked. For many people, the word has negative connotations. It seems like raising the white flag or giving up, when it really doesn't mean that at all. It really means letting go of the need to control the way your life is going, and instead just kind of flowing with the river, flowing where life is going to take you. And when we decide to surrender, life gets easier. It becomes more graceful. There's more flow. We have opportunities that we never even thought were possible. We find that this flowy river of surrender may take us somewhere we never expected. And it always turns out better than what we had in mind. So what prevents that? We've talked earlier this week about how micromanaging our life, needing to control every detail for fear of letting go of control, is a symptom that we need to surrender. But even more than that, clutching onto expectations, holding on to expectations of our present day, of our future, really hold us stuck in this place where we're resisting change, where we're resisting moving forward and flowing with that river. It's like we're, the river's flowing and we've hit some boulder that's in the path, and we're just going to keep ramming it over and over and over, instead of just letting go and flowing around and taking the direction that life takes us. And I think about some of the ways this has shown up in my own life. When I finished my medical residency and I moved back to, my home area in Wisconsin, I got this great job. I loved this doctor job. It was about 5 miles from home. The staff was amazing. The patients were amazing. I loved everything about it. I assumed and I expected that I was going to work at that job until I retired at 60 or 65, or I don't know, however old I would have been. I remember emailing my former boss and telling her, "Thank you for hiring me. I love this job." And after she had left the company and there was a lot of leadership change, and they came in with a new, I'm the boss, applesauce kind of leadership style, screaming at us in meetings that they were going to teach us what it meant to be employed physicians. And as it went from a servant leadership model to a very top-down leadership model, it didn't become the kind of place that I loved to work anymore. But I was so tied to that expectation, so clutching that expectation that I was going to work there the rest of my life, that I actually made a job change probably years later than I would have otherwise. I fought that change because I had in my mind that this was where I was going to work forever, that this was the job I loved, only it wasn't the job that I loved anymore. Sure, I still loved the patients. I still loved my staff. They were amazing, and that was part of what made it so hard. But it was clutching to that expectation that this was where I was going to be for the rest of my working career that held me stuck. It was this that kept me ramming up against that boulder instead of just kind of letting go and saying, you know what, the situation changed. Yes, this used to be my dream job. It's not anymore. I don't want to be treated like this anymore. I don't want to be screamed at. I don't want to be held to unrealistic expectations. I don't want to work 60 or 80 hours a week. I don't want to put in 19-hour days on the weekends, because that's what it took seeing all of the inpatients. I don't want to start rounding at 3:30 in the morning so I can see 14 people and get to clinic by 8:30. It's not good for the patients. It's not good for me. It's not good for my family. This is not what I want to do anymore. But I fought that for so long, and that was a great example for me of where the surrender, the situation changed. I can make new choices, but I have to accept that the situation changed. I can't hold on to the old expectation. Surrendering by letting go of the expectations, by looking at the situation fresh as it is now. If this was your first day on the job, would this be your dream job where you work for 40 years? No. Looking at the situation with a fresh pair of eyes and surrendering into what is opens up numerous possibilities. In my case, it opened up a great new job that was also close to home, also with great staff and with great patients. Surrender is powerful. It frees us to gracefully get to where we want to go. Surrendering and taking ourselves out of that constant fight helps create clarity. Clarity about next steps, about where we're headed, about the next step in our business. And I just want to mention that if that is something that you are struggling with right now, I would love to spend 20 minutes with you, connect you deeply to your soul, and get clear about what you can let go of, where you can shift, and what your next step is so that you continue to move closer to your dreams. Because I know that your dreams are worth it.